Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Andy R and this is the Brotherhood of Men, a channel solely dedicated at getting you men out there the best outcome in your life. And I do that by making these videos. Well, first I made this channel and you guys seem to find some use of the information that I'm giving you and my opinion, because you're subscribing, and that's awesome. You have become brothers. You've made this brotherhood. It's you subscribers that actually make this brotherhood worthwhile, and it keeps me going. I upload daily, so if you're not already subscribed, you're missing out on great content. So get yourself subscribed, hit that beautiful red button. Don't forget to hit the bell notification, that way you don't miss out on future content. And you don't want to miss out, because I have got some brilliant subjects I'll be covering in the future, and have had some brilliant subjects I've covered in the past. But I would say that this is my channel. As I've said before, I would be perfect if it wasn't for my modesty. Anyway, joking aside, what's today's subject? Well, today's subject is extremely serious. It's not a joking matter, and I do tend to make these videos with a little bit of humour thrown in there for entertainment's value, as well as giving you great content. I want you to enjoy the content, get something from it. So what is today's subject? You know, you've seen the thumbnail. It is false accusations can destroy a man. And it's true. False accusation. Here in the UK, a woman can go into a police station or phone them up and accuse you of the most horrendous and hideous acts, and she will have the full might of the law and the court system backing her up with full anonymity. That's right, here in the UK, a woman can make accusations and her name is kept private. It's never published in the papers, it's never mentioned. She has full anonymity. She can make these accusations about any man and be anonymous. The man doesn't get that privilege. His name is going to be splashed all over the newspapers, on the news TV, on social media. It's going to be on the internet. His life quite literally can be ruined. And even later, when it turns out that all of those allegations were made up of complete fresh air, were the stories that women like to tell, that man's life can be destroyed. So much so that men have actually taken their own life because of those false accusations, because of what they've had to deal with outside of those false accusations. Their friends, their work colleagues, their family, all have to deal with the fact that you've been accused of something you didn't do, just because a woman felt a little bit aggrieved by you. Now, you know the kind of accusations I'm talking about. I'm not talking about petty theft or, as you say in America, jaywalking. I'm talking about horrendous things, violence. I'm talking about something that rhymes with grape, but without the G attached. You know what I'm talking about, guys. YouTube don't like men talking about these things, but how are we supposed to get this information to each other if we don't talk about it? And it's a serious subject. That's why I'm not making light of it, because it isn't something to be made light of. Don't get me wrong, I think that act is absolutely abhorrent. I think it's terrible, and any man who does those things should be buried under the prison. That's if he lives. But men have lost their life because of these false accusations. Either they've taken their own life because they couldn't handle the pressure. They've thought to themselves, I know I'm innocent. I know I've done nothing wrong. But this woman's making these accusations completely anonymously. I have to defend myself. We live in a country that runs on common law, and so do the States and Australia. Most of those that used to be British colonies do. And it's common law is you're innocent until proven guilty. But in this case, you're found guilty or assumed to be guilty right from the get-go, because women have managed to convince people that you should always believe them. especially about something this serious. Two things there. One, false accusations hurt the women as much as they hurt the men they accuse. You see, the men they accuse get dragged through the ringer by, like I said, friends, family. Even in your own family, there will be certain people who think, did he do that? Work colleagues, there are going to be some work colleagues that you don't get on with. They will instantly think, oh yeah, I could believe that of him. There are people that in your neighbourhood, people you only know in passing, those that you go to the same shop each day to buy the newspaper or whatever, who are going to look at you and go, oh yeah, he's a wrong one. I've read stories about him, because your name's been plastered all over those same newspapers that you've been accused of something. Not found guilty of, just accused. That's it. You've been accused of it, and then society says you did it. You start even doubting yourself. And guys have, one, taken their own life, and then of course there's always those white knights who will come up and defend this strange woman by attacking that man. And men have lost their lives because of these false accusations. And it's wrong. And it has to stop. But the second point is, it harms women as much as it harms those they accuse. Because false accusations make it less believable when a true victim of these horrible, horrendous crimes comes forward. Because each false accusation makes it less credible for the real accusers, those who've really suffered. That's the tragedy here, the true tragedy. I want this to end. I don't want one single woman ever to be a victim of that sort of behaviour. I know my brothers out there, like-minded, sensible, modern as well as traditional men, do not want women to suffer this kind of abuse. But even they will agree with me that making a false accusation is a terrible, disgusting thing to do. And women do it from one place, and that is to be the victim. They've convinced themselves that being a victim has value. When did being a victim ever have value? It's not something to brag about, but women want it for some reason. They want to be a victim of something. They will tell you about their last boyfriend. Oh, he was a monster, he was horrendous. To make you feel sorry for her, so that your protective nature comes out and it's all right, sweetheart, I'll look after you, you're with me now. You'll be the next monster. That's the truth. Right there. You will be the new monster that she tells her friends about when she splits up with you. You're not now. Right now, you're the new. You're the shiny. You're the oh, he's great, everything's fantastic. But when it splits up, she'll be telling stories about how you're the monster. Just hope and pray that she also doesn't tell the police or the courts that you did something horrendous against her. Whether you did or didn't, and you probably didn't. Those women are terrible, toxic, they've harmed your life, and they could quite literally destroy you. Now, not all women do this, of course not, but the important thing to take away from this video, guys, is that all women are capable of it and can if they choose to. And what is their punishment if it turns out months and months later, because it will be months and months later before it turns out, because the wheels of justice, they turn very slowly. But when it turns out months later that you did nothing wrong, that it was in fact what it was lies told to harm you, you don't get a, hey, sorry, we got it wrong and now your life's been destroyed, when you've lost your job, your family's ostracised you, you're on your own, you're in a community that look at you as though you're a wrong 'un, and this will last for years and years and years. You only probably have a chance if you move to a new area and hope that they don't recognise you, because your face and name will be plastered all over those newspapers and in the TV saying about the horrendous thing that you did when you didn't. False accusations. So what is her punishment? Because filing a false complaint is against the law. Well, I'm going to tell you. Usually, nothing. Slap on the wrist. Don't do it again, you naughty girl. That's it. 9 times out of 10, just a warning. Very rarely does a woman actually have to, once again, face the consequences of her action. This is why they do it. Because if they did face the consequences of their actions, they would stop doing it. If they were brought to book, if they were brought in front of the justice system and treated like a man's treated, they wouldn't do it. Or at least they'd think very hard before making a false accusation. So like I say, this isn't a light-hearted subject. This has real-world consequences. And you women who are ever thinking of doing that, you see this happen a lot in the family courts when it comes down to custody battles, and when you see it. But I'm going to do a whole video about that in the future, about the family courts and how women have learned so well to manipulate and game the system against men. That's one to watch out for. And if you want to make sure you don't miss it, well, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, that way you won't miss that video. But that's going to be quite eye-opening, and if you don't already know this stuff, it really will be an eye-opener. Anyway, tell me, do you agree with me? Do you, my brothers out there, and you watching it, and there is 70% of the people watching this video are not subscribed. What are you shy? Come on guys, join the Brotherhood. Come and be a brother. The water's fine and the brothers are welcoming. Anyway, my name's Andy R. If you agree with what I've said, tell me in the comments. If you disagree with what I've said, then also tell me in the comments. Where do you think I got it wrong? But remember, no ad hominem attacks, okay? If you've got an argument about the points I'm making, then make the argument about the points. Any argument you try to make about me as a person isn't going to wash. I don't take on board ad hominem arguments because I don't care enough. I said in an earlier video, I went through a personal experience that when I came out the other side, I decided I'm not going to care what people think about me, and I don't. So, have at it. Anyway, my name's Andy R. I'm going for a cup of tea because I think I've had one. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Now, take care of yourselves, because if you don't, who will? Bye now.